What's up, everybody? I'm Josh Soleil, and welcome back to Adorama XP. We're talking Most Wanted Remakes Part 2. If you missed Part 1, check in our bio down below, or check in our video list to check out Part 1. You're not going to want to miss it. There's so many remakes that we want, that we had to make 2 parts in this. So we're going to talk about some more remakes that we want. Thank you so much for the comments. Also, shout out to the Callisto Protocol and Dead Space video. That's well over 2,000 views, our biggest view count on Adorama XP. Thank you all so much for doing that. From the bottom of my heart, it means a lot. We're growing this video. We're growing this community. Check out our Twitch and our Discord links below. Well, let's get straight into what we want for Most Wanted Remakes, Part 2. Now, we have Silent Hill on our remake list, and while we had this on our list, the Silent Hill showcase was being shown. So now we're just going to update it to the latest and greatest from Konami. So the rumors are true. Bloober Team is developing the remake of Silent Hill 2. You might know Bloober Team from The Medium, Layers of Fear, Blair Witch, and tons more. They know the horror franchises and the horror genre so well. Now, they got the original artist and the original composer from Silent Hill 2, and a lot of fans say Silent Hill 2 is the best in the franchise, so incredible that they're remaking this. You play as James Sunderland, who's looking for his dead wife, who got a letter from a town from Silent Hill. What? A letter from his dead wife? How is that possible? The game is going to be on PS5 and in 4K. That's Silent Hill 2 remake. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Then they also announced Silent Hill Townfall, a new game in the Silent Hill franchise. Annapurna Interactive will be developing it, known for Stray, Outer Wilds, What Remains of Edith Finch, which was pretty thriller-esque and creepy. We don't know much about this game, but it looks super spooky. I mean, obviously it should. It's a Silent Hill game. You see a red ocean and creatures. Woo-wee! All right, more Silent Hill love. Next was Silent Hill F, set in 1960s Japan, written by Ryukishi 07. Now, the game looks like the plants are eating the human life forms, infecting them, making them become some sort of, I don't know, zombie that reminded me a lot of Last of Us, like those creatures, those zombies, those undead in Last of Us. It looks terrifying, especially when her face falls off. Ooh. Music gave me goosebumps. Silent Hill is known for its music, so that looks awesome. Next was Silent Hill Ascension. Players around the world will control characters in a brand new Silent Hill game. It looks like it'll be live on multiple platforms. Someone compared it to, I think, IGN Pokemon Go. Seems like it's all about coming together as a world, facing off against evil. Very curious about that. We'll see more. Now look, I'm going to come clean. I haven't played any Silent Hill games. I'm not really a fan of horror games, but it doesn't mean they shouldn't make these games, remake them, and remake Silent Hill 1 and the other Silent Hills. It's been on a lot of people's wish list for a while. A survival horror game from Konami, Silent Hill is one of the biggest horror franchises in gaming. There are tons of games in the series, from spin-offs to sequels to the infamous PT, and I wonder if we'll ever see that playable trailer PT. Most likely not. Now, the first Silent Hill game was released in 1999. You played as Harry Mason, who was searching for his missing adopted daughter. Fast forward to PT, which was released in 2014. You went through the same hallway of a home, and each time you walked through it, it would change and get scarier and scarier. Silent Hill is known for its over-the-shoulder third-person fixed camera, making turning corners even scarier. Add in the fog, the darkness, and suddenly you can barely see anything. Not to mention the incredible audio that was unforgettable. The complete silences to the way sounds would disturb you and give you goosebumps. The score was such a thriller, and it's so hard to describe because every time you would listen to it, you immediately feel you're immersed into the game. Add that to headphones, you're on a roll. The most horrifying thing in Silent Hill were the creature designs. So the most iconic creatures in the horror genre: Screamers, Pyramid Head, Needler, the Nurse. Ugh. This is why I don't go to Universal Horror Nights, because they still use those characters to this day, and they're terrifying. It's incredible that we're getting a bunch of new Silent Hill games, plus the new remake of Silent Hill 2. That is awesome. Let me know in the comments which Silent Hill game you're most excited for. And I still think they should remake Silent Hill 1, but nonetheless, they are remaking Silent Hill 2. Heck yes. Simpsons Hit and Run. I have so many hours on this game when I played it on the PS2. I loved it. From its wacky driving to its amazing notable characters that we all love, to its open sandbox world, crazy vehicles, collectibles. This game was actually pretty hard. Having to do quests under a certain time limit and bashing cars into another, hoping they drop things. I definitely had to replay a lot of missions. Hit and Run came out in 2003. It was an action-adventure game centered around driving and smashing cars into other cars. It was kind of like GTA of Simpsons. The game sold over 3 million copies by 2007 and won a bunch of awards. Now, you had a police meter, so when cops would come and get you if you're acting too crazy or running over things or destroying property, the cops would come after you. You had numerous fetch quests and an open sandbox world. And there were so many collectibles that you wanted to get, which made it really fun, and hidden vehicles. Gamers still play this and stream this today, and it's a game that still holds up today. Now, we haven't gotten a Simpsons Hit and Run remake or any rumblings of it. However, a fan remade Simpsons Hit and Run in Unreal Engine, and you can actually see it on their YouTube. Here it is right now. It's absolutely gorgeous, and the creator of Simpsons Hit and Run actually complimented them. Now, the game isn't playable, but it shows what can be done if the passion and love is still there. So imagine if a fan could do this, a team of developers could do this as well. So I say bring that person onto the team if they're willing, and remake Simpsons Hit and Run. S is to rock around SSX Tricky, the most notable music in all of gaming. Oh, it was so much fun, snowboarding through some crazy slopes while doing the most insane tricks like a worm on a snowboard and more. I mean, was this game realistic at all? No, but I didn't play it for its realism. I played it because it was so fun and absurd. SSX Tricky, baby! Huh! This game was one of my favorite sports games as a kid next to NBA Street, which they also need to remake. SSX came out in 2001, and it was amazing. It's tricky. You would take part in really cool level design, race your way to the bottom of the slope, or try and compete in the highest score possible. You'd have a tricky meter on the right. When doing more tricks, you get that meter all the way up to eventually do your most insane trick. The soundtrack was unforgettable, and to this day, it's the best snowboarding game ever to release, in my opinion. Now, SSX Tricky is a sequel to SSX, which is just as good, but I think Tricky was a little bit more fun and wacky. Tricky went fully in on the absurdity and the insanity. Now, SSX was made again by EA like 5 or 7 years ago, but SSX Tricky was not. So I say, bring back SSX Tricky. Huh! Well, if we're talking about SSX Tricky, we got to talk about NBA Street, released in 2001. Again, played this game like mad on the PS2, even the different volumes that came out after. Now, instead of a 5-on-5 basketball game, you played 3-on-3 outside in the street. You would be awarded for your tricks and get your meter up, just like in SSX Tricky, to do crazy and strange tricks and dunks. Back to Papa, alley-oops, and more. I remember there's one trick that I just did over and over and over again just to get my meter all the way up. This was the arcade style of basketball, and it was so addicting. You could even hit and tackle players to clear the way. It was so insane. This was my childhood. You could create your own player and make them super tall so they would block everything and just do the most ridiculous moves. The absurdity made this game what it was. Watching a 7-foot-tall defender roll around on the floor. Look, if you're not going to remake NBA Street, at least remake NBA Street Volume 2. I think it's time for more sports games to go away from microtransactions and more into the fun, ridiculous type of games. Even if an indie developer remade this and put it on Xbox Game Pass, how perfect would that be? So I say, remake NBA Street. And lastly, I think we can't talk about remakes without Twisted Metal. Yes, Twisted Metal, the game where you choose a vehicle and just blow things up. Twisted Metal created a type of destruction never seen before in gaming. And not only that, vehicular destruction. Mayhem. It was released in 1995, and it's time for a remake. And there just might be one coming, actually. We know Sony is making a Twisted Metal action comedy TV series set on Peacock. Comedy, don't know why comedy is in there, kind of worried about that. But it might be time, the perfect time, to release a remake when the TV show comes out. And there are tons of Twisted Metal games that go all the way from 1995 to 2012, with the last one being just Twisted Metal. The latest news is that Sony has taken over the remake. Lucid Games is no longer developing it. There's no guarantee that it's being remade, but if the rumor is true, it should be coming out in 2023. And how awesome would it be with car destruction, explosions on next gen? Either way you swing it, Twisted Metal next gen, give it to us. Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell, one of the greatest stealth action-adventure games of all time, next to Metal Gear Solid, I would say. The first game was released in 2002, and we need it remade, and the last game we got was in 2013, called Splinter Cell Blacklist. You play as Sam Fisher, a highly trained agent under Third Echelon, and this was considered one of Ubisoft's best franchises, and it sold more than 31 million copies by 2011. What made Splinter Cell stand out was not just the gameplay and stealth mechanics, but the story. You truly felt like you were at the center of a spy novel. While Metal Gear was kind of in a fantastical world, in a sense, Splinter Cell was more grounded in reality. The game incorporated night vision, incredible gadgets that gave you an advantage, and new ways to take down enemies. It was all about timing and planning your takedowns, your strategy, how you would do it in the best and fastest way possible. You could even get through levels without even attacking enemies or being seen. There were multiple ways to complete each level, which made it so unique and replaying each map so much fun. One game added a ghost figure when enemies heard or saw you. It was like your last known location. That was an element never seen before in games, and after it was created, it was copied in a lot of games. Now, there have been rumblings that a Splinter Cell remake is on the way. Last we heard was from Ubisoft Toronto back in December 15th, 2021, that they were working on a Splinter Cell remake. Nothing new has been said since, and it's almost been a year. Now, they say they're going to deliver the next generation of visuals, gameplay, and dynamic lighting and shadows that this game is known for. Well, I honestly can't wait, and Splinter Cell on next gen would be incredible. Well, that does it for our Most Wanted Remakes Part 2. Let me know what you think from Part 1 to Part 2. If you agree on any of the list, if you think we should add more. I know Bushido Blade has been in the comments a lot. People loving that game and wanting that remade. But let me know if I missed anything. Love to see it. Check out our previous videos down below in our video reel or catalog, if you will. Like it, comment, subscribe for more. We're looking for more followers so we can boost up this content. I'm Josh Soleil. We'll see you next week on Adorama XP. Peace.